Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope everyone is having a beautiful morning. Today's video is one that I've been meaning to film for quite a while. Around 7 months ago, I dropped at the Hermès Spa my mini Kelly, and let's just say that the experience has been a bit of a roller coaster. Back in October, in one of my vlogs, I shared that I was dropping off my mini Kelly at the spa, and on that video I got so many questions about the whole process, and through the last 7 months I also got a few messages on Instagram asking me to make a video once I got my bag back. So I'm definitely going to cover all the questions that I got that are mainly why I sent my mini Kelly to the spa even though the bag was almost brand new, how long does the process take, how much did it cost, is it worth it, and just overall my experience with the process. So basically the Hermès Spa is a specialized service offered by the brand to maintain the longevity of their products. They basically restore, fix, and give just a little bit of care to items that come from Hermès. So right off the bat, we all know that the Hermès Spa takes quite a few months. I've heard from 2 months up to a year, year and a half, depends on what you have to do to your bag. So this is the bag that I sent to the spa. I'm going to explain why, but basically it was defective. So I kind of wish that this was like a shocking transformation and I could show you the before and after of a bag that was completely restored and brought back to life, because I love those videos. However, in this case, I just have a few pictures to show you how the bag was before, and I will show you how it looks now. So I got this bag directly from my Hermès boutique here in Barcelona in late November of 2022. This one I would say was my most used bag of 2023. Like, I love the mini Kelly. Mine is in clay with palladium hardware in Epsom leather. So last year during the summer, I started to notice that the bag was spilling a little bit on the handle. It started very slowly, but once the leather was lifted a little bit, it just started to get worse and worse and worse and worse. And I was so confused because this bag, I mainly wear it crossbody or on the shoulder. And yes, I grab it by the handle sometimes, but mainly I always use it with the strap. And the strap is probably the most used part of the entire bag, and the strap was perfect. They didn't replace the strap or anything. This is my original one. So it was like little dots that were darker. First I thought maybe it's dirt, but once you looked closer into it, I started to see that it was actually the leather lifting from the bag. So I actually only have pictures because what I did after this was automatically I put a twilly on the bag and I brought it into the store. This was very strange because I've had this bag at that point for 1.5 years, which is not that long, and I also have vintage Hermès bags. Like, I have a bag that is 30 years old and the bag is almost perfect, so I know the quality that I need to expect from Hermès. The bag is also Epsom, which is one of the most durable leathers that Hermès offers. So this was something very much unexpected, never happened to me before. So yeah, my first instinct was to take it into the boutique and show it to my SA. He was as surprised and very nice about it. So he totally agreed with me and told me that it was not something that he had seen before. So he of course suggested that we should send the bag to the spa. The process at the store was pretty straightforward. They just take the bag in and they take note of every detail of the bag. So they inspect it and they note down the bag has a little scratch here, it has the thing on the handle, the hardware has scratches, literally everything that the SA can tell that your bag has. They write it down and then they take the bag. At that point they told me that it would take like 2 months to get the bag back, which I thought was quite reasonable, mainly because I didn't really want to be without of my bag for such a long time when I knew that sometimes the spa takes 7 months or even up to a year. Now I want to cover a little bit of the communication process because that was something that I was not expecting. I kind of thought that my SA was gonna take me along the whole thing. The moment that they took in the bag, my SA was no longer on top of the situation and it became completely via email with the after service care and through the website. So to give you a little bit of a timeline, I dropped my bag off on September 12th of 2024 and I didn't hear anything at all for over a month. Not an email, not any updates. I didn't know if my bag was still at the store, if it was already in Paris, if they were working on it. I kind of wish that someone would have explained to me a bit more about this, but the first email came until October 11th. When I get this email, I get really excited because I thought that I was going to get the quote, but unfortunately it was just a confirmation email that the bag was being sent. It wasn't even in Paris at this point, it was just being sent. So the first thing that I thought at that point was my bag has been sitting for 1 1 month at the store without anything going on, and they told me that it's going to take 2 months. Like, there's no way that that's the actual timeline. I realized then that it was going to take way longer than I expected. I'm going to put here a picture of the email that they sent you. Mine, of course, it's in Spanish because I am in Spain, but I'm going to ask ChatGPT to make like a translation version for you guys. So it's going to look a little bit wonky because it's going to be AI generated from ChatGPT. So on this first email, they confirm you that the bag is being sent, and they also give you a link. This link leads you to a website where you can basically track the progress of your bag. I really liked having this website because even if they were not sending me an email, I could always refresh and just confirm that nothing was going on yet. I don't work very well with radio silence, so I just kind of wanted to know what was going on, and at least refreshing the website and not seeing any updates, I know that there's no updates and not that anyone is forgetting to email me or anything like that. So I did like that. So from this point is really where the waiting began. Again, I sent the bag expecting that they would just replace the handle. I just wanted to note on that. I didn't ask for anything else. I just wanted them to replace the handle and to check if the bag or the leather on the bag, something was going on and why it was spilling, because it was weird. I wanted to understand what happened, how it happened, to avoid it happening in the future. And on November 28th, I finally got the email that confirmed that the bag was in Paris, and basically the cost repairs. I didn't expect to be as high as it was because I was quite a bit shocked about all of the things that they included on the budget. I thought they would do the handle replacement and the cleaning because, again, this bag was not destroyed. It didn't need any major restorations. It was a problem with the handle, and the handle itself, I didn't see any peeling on the rest of the bag. And let me check the email so I can read you everything that they wanted to do. So on our first email regarding the budget, they told me that the cleaning was going to be for free because, and I quote, the total estimated amount exceeds 1,200 euros. Cleaning will be provided free of charge, which I do appreciate a lot that they did offer this. The handle replacement was 550 euros. So basically they were gonna give it a brand new handle. They also included a lock replacement for 205 euros, but this one I didn't really understand because yes, of course, my bag is used. I've been using it for a year and a half, but I didn't really need it to be replaced. Like, the bag is going to get scratched all over again. They also added lateral strip replacement. So that is basically this part of the bag. And the last one is flap replacement. And that one I am unsure as to what it is. In Spanish is sustitución solapa. Anyway, the total was going to end up being 935 euros. So at this point you can either accept or deny the budget. I was hesitant to just go ahead and do it because of course I wanted my bag back. And if the artisans that have my bag consider that these things need to be done, I was happy to do so. However, I still did not understand what was happening with the bag. Like, clearly not normal. The bag is not that old. This shouldn't really happen. Also, doing everything that they suggested felt a little bit like a waste because I've considered sending my vintage Kelly to the spa too. It needs good care, it needs a lot of restoring, and I would pay good money for that bag to come back as new. But with this one, it did feel like wasting my money a little bit because I just wanted to make sure that it didn't get worse and to replace the handle. So I decided to think about it for a few days before I accepted the budget or not. And something that I had to consider along this process was that if this was any other brand that was not Hermès, let's say Louis Vuitton, even Bottega Veneta, and one of my bags was doing the same, I would definitely expect Bottega Veneta, Louis Vuitton to replace the bag, to give me a new one, or to repair it for free. Especially because I was not abusing the bag, I was not using it every single day. Even if I was abusing the bag and wearing it as a top handle, unless I was like rubbing alcohol or doing something super abrasive towards the bag, that should not happen. I have Birkins that I wear as a top handle without twillies that I use on a daily basis and they are perfect. So clearly this was not right. And Hermès bags are supposed to have a 2-year warranty, so I decided to push for that. I also did a little bit of research and found online people that have had similar issues that Hermès covered the repair. I was a little bit worried that they were gonna tell me no, because I don't know, in my head when I sent it to the spa, I thought that they were going to tell me right off the bat that they were gonna cover it, but because they sent me the budget, it was very clear to me that I was expected to pay for the repair. So I decided to send them an email, very politely explaining the whole situation, my expectations towards the brand, and also my concerns, because because what if I pay for this and it just happens again? And I requested for the damage to be covered by the warranty. And after this, I heard again nothing for a month until December 27th. They replied that after a second analysis, they concluded that part of the leather was indeed peeling abnormally and that they would restore the bag with all of the services mentioned on the past email free of charge. I was so happy to hear that. They also gave me an estimated arrival date and they said that it was gonna take around 6 weeks. So I put the 6 weeks down on my calendar. I'm very happy with the service that they provided me so far. So at this point on the timeline, the bag has been sitting for 4 months without anything being done to it because the back and forth takes up quite a lot, which is something that I think could be worked on. I know that they must have a lot of bags sent over. So I wait and the 6 weeks pass and we're on the 8th week. So I decide to email them and ask about any updates on the bag because on the website it just said that they started working on the bag. But still, because they told me 6 weeks and it's been 8 weeks, I emailed them just to ask if everything is okay and if they have an update, which so they reply giving me a new estimate asking for 8 more weeks. The email said that there was a miscommunication regarding the timeline. They apologized. So the new date that I had was May 19. At this point, I just knew that I had to accept it and wait, and so I did. Nothing really changed on the website for quite a long time until one day I refreshed and it said that they had completed the bag on March 31st. I didn't get any updates. This was just what the website was saying, and I finally got the confirmation email on April 26th. So basically from when they finished the bag to when I was told that I could go pick up the bag was again like another whole month. But still, I was thrilled because it was even before the timeline that they gave me and I just really wanted to go get my bag. So right after I got this email, I contacted my SA, made an appointment and ran to go and pick up my bag. They did give me a new dust bag because the day that I dropped it off, I just literally took it off me, took out my things and gave it to them. When they gave me back the bag, it came with this dust bag and the strap came in this one. I do want to note something not related to the spa at all. I used to think that the stores didn't allow dogs, but I've been taking Masha, she's a golden retriever, to all of the stores and they just treat her so good. So I took her with me to go pick up the bag, and honestly I have to say I'm really happy that brands, even luxury brands, let you go with your dogs and they make you feel so comfortable and so welcome. I don't know if this is just about Barcelona, but just wanted to note it. So when you go and pick up the bag, of course you inspect it, you accept it, and they send you an email of everything that has been done to the bag, which I am happy that they give you in case you ever want to send it back to the spa, sell the bag or whatever. But just to note, I don't plan to sell the bag at all, like ever. I love the bag. And also on this email it says free on every single one of them. So I'm going to give you some close-ups and show you the bag and the things that they did to it, and I'm gonna put you in contrast the pictures of how the handle looked like. So as we know, the handle was replaced completely, so this is literally brand new and you can definitely tell. I did have a few scratches on the bag. I think it was right here, which are now basically gone, but you can definitely see the slight corner wear that I had, and also the feet of the bag are quite scratched, which was on me. I use this bag quite a lot, but yeah, the feet are the same as the ones that I had prior. They also replaced the lock on the bag. I didn't really think it was necessary, but in this case I'm very grateful that they did it, and it comes with the stickers, which I will of course remove. They also replaced completely the side straps, so basically these ones. Both of them are brand new. I could think that the bag is brand new because it literally looks like new, if not because of the inside. They never touch the inside of the bag at the spa, and the reason for that it's because they're usually made of very delicate leather. So yeah, based on the inside and the fit of the bag, you can tell I've used this bag, but it looks practically brand new. So all in all, I am very happy, super content with the service. The bag looks perfect, and I just hope that this never ever happens again. Two other questions that I got is, one is if the spa service will accept vintage bags that perhaps were not originally yours but you bought secondhand, and the answer is yes. As long as the bag is authentic, they will for sure take it in and repair the bag for you if it's possible. If they can repair it, they will, and if they cannot, they will probably return it to you. And the second one is if they request a receipt. In my case, they didn't. I think mainly because I dropped it off with the SA that sold the bag to me, and he knows me. So I am not sure if they requested or not, but if you can take in vintage pre-loved bags to the spa, I would then assume that it's not really that necessary. So my final thoughts. The whole process took 7.5 months. It was way longer than expected for what I thought the bag needed, but overall I'm very happy with the service that they provided. I would say that my experience is different than most of the cases because it was a quality issue and I didn't end up paying for the service. It was also not a massive restoration or really a big change, but I'm really happy that Hermès stood by their product. They repaired it free of charge, and the way that the bag came back to me, I would say that I'm very happy. I definitely think it's worth it, and I would say that always assume that it's going to take a really long time. And regarding the prices, I would say that it's quite fair. If I am to take in my vintage Kelly, I now know approximately the price that I'm gonna have to pay because I understand a little bit more the pricing and probably the things that the bag is going to need. And for the price that I got my vintage bag, I do think that it's very much worth it to send it to the spa, and you basically get a bag back that is almost brand new. So all in all, I would recommend it. I would also like to note that if you consider that your bag is wearing in a way that it shouldn't, no matter which brand it is, if the bag is not wearing in a normal way, feel always free to contact them and ask the brand to stand by their product. If I missed anything, or if you have any stories, tips or experiences with the Hermès Spa, let's chat in the comments. I would love to hear you guys out on this. And if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing and click the notification bell down below so you don't miss any of my videos. And if you're not done watching, I'm gonna leave you two right here in case you want to check them out. Thank you and see you on the next one. Bye.